already a decisive victory. The enemy has been defeated. Satan was defeated at the cross, and there Jesus wrought the victory for us. In 1 John 3:8, he said, "He that commits sin is of the devil. For the devil has sinned from the beginning, and for this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil." How? Through his cross. Colossians 2:14, speaking of the cross, "He blotted out the handwriting of the ordinances that were against us, which were contrary to us. He took them out of the way, nailing them to his cross, having spoiled the principalities and powers. He made an open show of his victory as he triumphed over them through the cross." Through the cross, Jesus wrought the victory. That was God's purpose, that he would conquer over the evil through the cross, made provision for the forgiveness of our sins through the cross. As the author to Hebrews said, "For as much then as we are partakers of the flesh and blood, he also himself took part of the same, that is, he took on a body of flesh, that through death he might destroy him who has power of death, that is, the devil, and deliver them who through the fear of death were all of their lifetime subject to bondage." You say, well, if he won the victory at the cross, how is it that we are still warring and fighting against the devil and the minions of Satan? Well, had he taken the victory, say, as the apostles were expecting during their lifetime, where would you be? Whom he did foreknow, he did also predestinate that they should be the sons of God. He has postponed his claim over what he purchased. He redeemed the world through the cross, paid the price. But he has not yet taken possession. The book of Hebrews tells us that we see Jesus, who is made a little, we don't yet see, the full work of Jesus wrought through the cross, but we see him who, through the cross, triumphed over the evil and has brought us victory, but we're waiting for that day. Now, God has been very patient, and of course, that's what the disciples began to write. James and Peter in their epistles began to encourage the church to patience. For the Lord is waiting, he said, for the complete fruit of harvest, and has long patience toward it. I guess so, 2,000 years that he's been waiting. But according to the things that are transpiring in our world today, it's almost over. Almost over. Things are ready. Things are being prepared. Just the articles that I read to you today, things that are happening even Sunday, of course, they've already over Sunday in Israel, but even things that happen there today are fulfilling Bible prophecy. And we don't have much time. And these things that we're reading about, where he is going to then take the throne and come with his saints to set up God's kingdom, we're not very far off from that. So they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, by the cross, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. Therefore, rejoice, ye heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time. This war is going to take place in heaven. Michael going to cast out Satan, and he's going to come down and wreak havoc on the earth, as the Bible said, a time of great trouble, such as the world has ever seen or ever will see when these things happen. And so the woe to those that are still here on the earth. And by the grace of God, you don't have to be here. By the grace of God, he's made provision for us not to be here. And I would surely encourage you, if you haven't, take advantage of the provisions that he has made, the cross of Christ, our place of victory. Now, when the dragon saw that he was cast to the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child, or brought forth Christ. Because Israel was chosen by God to bring the Messiah into the world, Satan has this continual war with Israel and deceiving the people of the world to look upon them with disdain and to try and blame them for every problem that exists in the world today. And of course, trying to blame them for the problems of the Middle East. If Israel were just eliminated and all, then it would all be over. And that's deception. But it's, the dragon saw he was cast out, persecuted the woman, Israel, even further. And the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly to the wilderness into her place, where she is nourished for a time, times and a half time, from the face of the serpent, or the 3.5 years. When the Antichrist sets up his image in the temple, declares that he's God, demand to be worshipped, and the Jews at that time, as Jesus said, flee to the wilderness, God has prepared a place in the wilderness for them. It would appear to be the rock city of Petra, and that is called Selah, or the rock, in the book of Isaiah. And that Satan is going to send out an army after Israel, but God has given her 2 wings of an eagle to bear her there. In Exodus 19:3, and Moses went up to God, and he called to the Lord, saying, "Thus shall the house of Jacob tell the children of Israel, you have seen what I did to the Egyptians, how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you unto myself." So this figure of carrying them out of danger by eagle's wings, God's deliverance of the children of Israel from the Pharaoh, who is a type of the Antichrist, as he brought them, he said, by eagle's wings. So here, this deliverance is by eagle's wings. Interesting, the Jews hold in constant remembrance that deliverance of God out of Egypt. Even to the present day, the Jewish families observe the Passover and the ritual of the Passover as they are being reminded and remembering how that God miraculously delivered their fathers from the bondage in Egypt and brought them into the promised land. So there's going to be another Exodus, and this is leaving the land because of the powers of the Antichrist, the satanic powers, who are going to seek to destroy the Jews again because of the fact that they brought the Messiah into the world. And so in verse 15, the serpent, or Satan, cast out of his mouth water as of a flood after the woman, and that is the troops, and that he might cause her to be carried away by the flood. And the earth helped the woman. The earth opened up her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was angry with the woman, and he went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God, and the testimony of Jesus Christ. Jeremiah said, "The day will come